Hello and welcome to another S30TV. I'm Minnie Sedana-Blind.
And I'm Sean Leroux. Today on S30TV, we are focusing on the people that are making a difference. Our guests today are people who are making positive contributions to bettering our world and encouraging us all to do the same. We're also bringing you the news you should care about, along with sports and entertainment updates.
Our first guest today is someone who is definitely making a difference. Sheridan student Amalia Williamson is the director of a short film about two Syrian refugees reuniting through poetry. I talked to Amalia about her film, I Am Here, earlier today. Hi Amalia,
Hi.
Can you tell us about the story behind the film?
Yes, so it's a story about family. It's a story about loss and identity and what it means to sort of become a new family. And it's about a Syrian refugee family, brother and sister, who get separated back in Syria. And then the brother has to move to Toronto and is given a surrogate family here. And then the sister moves to Atlanta, and she with her actual parents. So it's about Harry and Anon, the brother and sister, and how they're both struggling in different ways with, in Harry's case, his identity. Is he a Toronto kid? Is he Syrian? He doesn't know too much about his background since he was taken away from Syria so young. And then Hanan is trying to find her brother. And so I'm directing the Harry portion of the film, which is shot in Toronto. And then a film school in Atlanta is shooting Hanan's side of the story with her family there. And then we are reuniting or uniting on two fronts and finishing the finale of the whole story.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did the opportunity come about for you to direct this film?
So it came about from the consulate in Atlanta. A lady there just came up with the story and then sent it here to our film school, to Sheridan, and then to a film school in Atlanta to sort of co-direct this story about a Syrian family that gets separated. And David Barlow and Michael Kennedy are faculty on the film, and Paul Daniel Torres was asked to write the script. So he wrote the script, and then David Barlow asked me to direct it.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But it's all Sheridan students, and it's going to be a really good film.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So did you learn anything while making this film?
We did a lot of research, and I mean, I'm obviously not Syrian, so I really wanted to make sure that this film was authentic. We're casting authentic actors that can play this role, play all of these roles, and I didn't realize just how many Syrian refugees get separated. I had no idea that there could be a kid and he's not with his family, and maybe he doesn't even know that his family exists, and I can't imagine going through that myself. So, and Harry has a lot of anxiety, so I've been exploring a lot of what it means to have panic attacks all the time and anxiety attacks, and just learning about how hard that can be, and not really knowing who you are, because he doesn't know who he is. Is he Syrian? Is he just a kid from Toronto? So it's been really fun to explore that and learn more about just how hard it must be to be a refugee.
Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you hope this film will make a difference?
I hope people realize kind of what I've realized. There are so many people here that in Toronto, and I mean especially in the States too, I mean it's better in Canada than it is in the States right now to be a refugee, but things are getting crazy right now in the media, and we have no idea where it's going to go, and I don't understand why people can be so negative when it comes to taking people in. We need to do that. We need to do our part, and hopefully keep families together. Just most of us have no idea what that would mean or what that would feel like to be separated from our families, and I hope that when people watch this film they realize just how hard it can be, and I hope that they're more sympathetic to the refugees that come here and how hard it is for the refugees to be able to adapt to being here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right now, we're heading live to Alex Frisbee, who is talking to another student who's making a difference. Corey Hazlitt is the vice president of the SSU at Trafalgar. Corey is also the president, a facilitator, and educator for the LGBTQ+ community here at Sheridan. Alex?
So, what are the Sheridan Student Unions?
So the Sheridan Student Union is an organization that's led by students for students, and our goal is to really make sure that students have the supports that they need on campus, as well as to really advocate about the students' issues. As fellow students ourselves and connecting with all of our peers, it's really important that we also have a lot of different sort of services. If people come, we have different items that people can lend or borrow for their programs. We have faxing, we have binding for school assignments, just a bunch of different things like that.
And what are the services available for the LGBTQ plus community?
So we're connected with a lot of the different organizations off campus. In Halton region, that's Positive Space Network, and in Peel region, that's the Peel HIV/AIDS Network, as well as East Mississauga Community Health Center. On campus, we work really hard at making sure that the services that we offer are inclusive to all groups, but we don't currently actually have specific LGBTQ plus services on campus.
Okay. And are there any clubs for the LGBTQ plus community?
Yes, so under the student union, we have one club at each of the campuses for LGBTQ plus students. At Trafalgar, it's Sheridan Pride Trafalgar. At Davis, it's Sheridan Pride Davis. And at HMC, it is Unbiased.
Oh,
So
well,
bi separate, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Corey. Back to the studio.
When we return, we'll check out the news you should care about. Stay with us. Welcome back, Sheridan.
Now over to Lauren for a look at the news you should care about.
Former Principal Secretary and close friend of the Prime Minister Gerald Butts testified today at the House of Commons Justice Committee. Butts said that the PMO never asked the Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould to come to a remediation agreement. He stepped down from the Liberal caucus last month after accusations of interfering with the SNC-Lavalin case. Wilson-Raybould says she was inappropriately pressured to help SNC-Lavalin avoid criminal prosecution.
All we ever asked the Attorney General to do was to consider a second opinion. I am not a lawyer, but I have extensive experience in government. When 9,000 people's jobs are at stake, it is a public policy problem.
Huawei's Chief Financial Officer Meng Wanzhou is expected to return to the British Columbia Supreme Court today. The tech giant executive was arrested in December upon request of U.S. authorities who laid charges of fraud, conspiracy, and obstruction against Meng and Huawei. Canada announced last week it will pursue its extradition case against Meng. China has announced today that the country's ban on Canadian canola are based on concerns over insect infestation. China has blocked Canadian imports of canola, citing the Chinese government needs to protect the health and safety of its own people. This ban comes after the high-profile arrest of a Chinese tech executive by Canadian authorities. Toronto police showcased the results of a guns and gangs task force. Over a dozen firearms and $400,000 worth of heroin was recovered. Police say the amount of narcotics recovered means the suspect is not a street-level dealer. 50-year-old Haywan Wilson faces 100 charges including organized crime, gun, and drug-related offenses. He has a hearing scheduled at Old City Hall tomorrow morning. Toronto police are searching for a man wanted for allegedly assaulting a passenger on a TTC bus last week. The man boarded a northbound bus on Islington Avenue from Elmhurst Drive around 3:30 p.m. on February 28th. Police are asking anyone with information to contact police. A new GO Transit station will be built at the Woodbine Racetrack in Toronto. The Ontario government will partner with Metrolink and Woodbine Racetrack to build the station, which is projected to cost between $75 and $90 million. The rail line will connect Toronto and Kitchener. Google is banning political ads ahead of the Canadian federal election. They say it's because of new ad transparency rules that are too difficult to comply with because it puts a huge liability on publishers. Bill C-76, passed in December, requires online platforms to keep track of all political and partisan ads they publish. Penalties for not complying include fines and possible jail time. Ontario school principals are concerned about the changes made to the autism services in public schools. Set to go in effect on April 1st, students with autism will be attending school full-time and will be spending less time in therapy with trained professionals. With that, schools are worried their learning, safety, and behavioral needs will not be met due to teachers' lack of training. Did you know you can pay your tuition with points collected with TD, Aeroplan, or CIBC Aventura? Higher ed points can be used at over 100 colleges and universities, including Sheridan. In the past 5 years, 200 million loyalty points have been converted into $1.5 million in tuition payments. Sheridan wants you to be Friesen for a reason. The SSU Peel Regional Police and the Davis Athletic Center are coming together to plunge for a great cause. The Polar Plunge raises money in support of Special Olympics Ontario. The event breaks the ice March 23rd and registration opens at 1:30. Bring your towels. That's all for now. Back to you, Manisa.
This week I got a chance to talk to Sheridan students about acts of kindness and the impact it has on them. Let's take a look at what they shared. Describe an act of kindness that someone has done for you, how it impacted you, and how it made you do something for someone else.
I would say there was a particular time where I ran out of cash and I was just on my Snapchat just saying I was hungry. And a friend just told me I should send my email. She's going to email me some cash. And I was surprised that she had to take out from our savings to come and feed me, which I was actually surprised someone would actually do that just randomly. And I felt loved that, wow, there are actually kind people out there who are willing to just do some sacrifices just to make someone else happy. And I feel that kind of kindness made me want to do more for another person. For someone to think that towards me, I feel I should be able to think that towards another person as well.
Oh, okay, so kind of really made you want to do stuff for other people as well. Did you end up doing something for someone else, or you're planning on?
I did something similar. Someone just asked me, can I get 20 from you? And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I didn't even bother to ask what for, but I believe for someone to come up to you, it takes courage for people to come ask for help, because
it really does.
It really does, yeah.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, I had my hands full. I had my coffee, I had my bag on my shoulder. I couldn't get the door, and somebody noticed that, and they got the door for me. So honestly, it was like they must have seen that I needed the help, And it's the small things where it's like, if I would have had to put my bag down, I would have been in a worse mood. I was kind of in a hurry. And yeah, so taking that into consideration, today, yeah, I held open the door for somebody else that was in a very similar situation to me. The thank you and the smile on their face was worth it. I'm sure that they had a slightly better day because they didn't have to put down their coffee or risk spilling it, which I've also done as well. And yeah, so I feel like it's something small that people can do. It doesn't take any effort. I mean, you're walking through the door as well, and it can make the difference for somebody in a hurry, rush, bad day, whatever.
Yeah, there was a time I missed the bus outside and it was cold. So someone just stopped and gave me a ride to where I was going to. And I felt very grateful because of that act, because I was just thinking about what I was going to do, because waiting for the next bus was about 30 to 40 minutes. So I was like, will I even survive it staying outside? So having for someone to take his time and stop for me, I just felt very, very grateful for that. But like, I don't yet have a car, so like, I'm not yet, but if I have, I'll be willing to do that for someone anytime.
So this act of kindness that was reflected upon me is actually through a friend of mine. And what she did was, she knows that I'm in school, I'm a mature adult in school, and she doesn't live here in the province, but she sent me some money the other day, and I thought that was really nice. Actually, it was last week, Friday. I received a check for $500 in the mail.
Wow.
And I thought that was great, but I mean, she is my friend, so I thought it was a really good act of kindness, and it was just basically reminding me of all my good deeds that, I present onto other people. So I do myself like to perform acts of kindness, not as big as hers, obviously, because I am a student, but what little things I can do for people, like helping someone, I don't know, with groceries or whatever, buying a toy for a child that may be underprivileged, or I always often give to the Children Foundation every month. So I love to give back to the community. So it was great that, I received something back myself.
So you almost, it was almost like a receiving after you've done so much.
Exactly.
That's great. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So acts of kindness, Shane. How about you? Did anybody do anything that impacted you?
I would say on a daily basis, I have a friend that offers me a ride home from work. That would be an act of kindness that I can remember in the near future, but that's just about it. Being a commuter, that definitely means a lot because it's winter, it's cold. I have no business being outside in the snow.
Yeah, and especially with this winter, it's been pretty brutal.
Exactly. What about you?
For me, one time this was at my job, and a complete stranger just walked up to me, and I was having a really bad day. And they're like, "How are you feeling? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Are you asking me if I'm okay?" And they're like, "Yeah. How are you feeling? How's your day been?" And I'm like, honestly, not that great. But now that you asked, I actually feel much better. The rest of the day, I was being so nice to everyone.
Yeah.
It's the littlest things that make the biggest difference for everybody. It's amazing. I love it.
Open your mind to new
Right?
perspective for sure.
With everything that's especially going on. So it's time for a quick break.
But when we're back, we'll have your full sports and entertainment updates.
Now taking a look at today's entertainment news with Lauren.
If you're a Marvel fan, don't miss the upcoming Captain Marvel movie set to be released this Friday in theaters. As the first female-led superhero film for the Marvel franchise, the movie is expected to meet some of the highest expectations yet for Marvel. If you haven't seen the trailer, we've got you covered.
You are the fastest, the strongest, the absolute baddest, and a huge pain in the ass.
I get in trouble for that a lot.
Oh, I can see that about you.
This Friday,
Try to keep up.
witness her story in the making.
You think you can find others like her?
She might just be the beginning. I'm guessing that's not standard procedure.
No, but I enjoyed it.
Ariana Grande is helping Starbucks launch a new drink. Starbucks will be adding a cloud macchiato to their menu in collaboration with Ariana, who loves clouds. The drink will have a caramel or cinnamon flavor option. It will officially be available Friday for International Women's Day. Several radio stations have pulled Jackson's music. A new documentary, Leaving Neverland, about the late singer's sexual abuse of two young boys aired on HBO this past weekend. This is one of the most shocking revelations about the late Michael Jackson yet. At the Sundance Festival premiere earlier this year, trained professionals were on hand for the audience. 39 days until Game of Thrones starts the final season. Teasers have been released following the long-awaited trailer, although many details regarding the final season have been kept under wraps until the first episode airs, so stay tuned. The final season for Game of Thrones will premiere April 14th at 9 p.m. on HBO.
They're coming. Our enemy doesn't tire, doesn't stop, doesn't feel.
Ben Affleck is opening up about his struggle with alcoholism. He appeared on the Today Show Monday. During the interview, he said he had a problem and really wanted to address it. The actor said he takes some pride in that, adding it's about yourself, your life, and your family. He also talked about his long-time struggle with alcoholism. He first entered rehab in 2001 and admits it has been something he's been working on. Now over to Alex for a look at sports.
The Sheridan Bruins men's basketball team struck gold this weekend in the OCAA Championship in Barrie, Ontario. Their playoff journey began a week prior against Algonquin College, where the Bruins won 112-74, followed by a 110-99 win over Fanshawe College in the quarterfinals.
Sheridan's next opponent was against the top-ranked team in the Eastern Conference, the Seneca Sting. Sheridan started off strong and kept their foot on the gas. The Bruins never lost the lead the whole game. Nick Campbell and Jamal Edwards led the team in scoring with 17 and 15 points respectively. The Bruins took advantage of every mistake the Sting made, scoring 22 points off turnovers. Sheridan would take the win 83-64, which meant that it would be gold medal or bust against the Bruins' biggest rival, Humber College.
So we came in locked in. I myself personally came in locked in, and I just wanted to do what I needed to do for our team to get the win.
Everything was on the line. The tensions were high when these rivals tipped off. Both teams exchanged blows and shots until halftime, where it was knotted up 35-35. Khalik Bakari-White led the Bruins squad with 20 points as Sheridan would dominate the second half, outscoring Humber 51-35. With a final score of 86-70, the Bruins were named champions of the OCAA. Khalik Bakari-White and Jamal Edwards were named Tournament All-Stars. Nick Campbell was named Tournament MVP after averaging 15.3 points per game. There was no denying that there was a little extra on the line because of their rivalry with Humber College.
Honestly, I know most people say every game is the same, you should treat it the same, but when we play Humber, the atmosphere is crazy. It's just the biggest game of the year.
Obviously, it's Humber versus Sheridan, a good rivalry, so we just came with a lot of energy, and I think that's what took us over the top.
This win also marked the 9th time head coach Jim Flack has won the OCAA title, which is most in league history.
guess it would be disingenuous if I said I wasn't proud of it. I'm proud of it, but I really do position this that rather than me winning 9 championships, that I've been fortunate enough to be involved with 9 championship teams. They, in the end, carry you on their back. I have never, in all those wins, the regular season wins, the 700 plus, whatever it is now, and the championships, I've never made a free throw or a layup yet. I've never made a shot or a defensive stop.
The Raptors are reeling today after an embarrassing loss to James Harden and the Houston Rockets last night. If not for a strong third quarter, the Raptors might have taken their worst loss of the season. Toronto looks to come back strong against the New Orleans Pelicans this Friday. The Toronto Maple Leafs have been making moves after signing Garrett Sparks and Andreas Borgman to extensions. The Leafs will also look to get their 3rd win in a row against Elias Pettersson and the Vancouver Canucks tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Today marks the 3rd day of the 2019 Junior Figure Skating Championships in Zagreb, Croatia. Canadians Joseph Chan and Steven Gogolev advanced to the free skate round after placing top 24 in today's men's skating event. Make sure to tune into CBC's live stream to support our Canadian athletes. That's all for sports. Back to you, Shane.
And now for the weather. Every week we're looking for someone like you to feature as our weather host. This week it's Esther from the Art Fundamentals.
Hi, my name's Esther and I'm from the Art Fundamentals program. This is your 5-day forecast. It's -11 out right now with the wind chill reaching -17. Tonight we should be expecting it to get cloudier and we may even get some flurries. Tomorrow will be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -6 and a low of -12. Wind chills will get to -14 with winds hitting 20 kilometers an hour around noon. On Friday, the skies should be clear all day and night with temperatures getting as high as 0 degrees and as low as -9. Saturday will be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of +1 and a low of -1 with possible snow arriving later in the evening. And on Sunday, we'll probably be seeing some rain showers or flurries throughout the day. Temperatures will reach +3 and -4. Monday will be mainly cloudy and feel like -3. I'm Esther. This is Off for Weather. Now back to the studio.
Now it's time for the meme of the week. Is that a Game of Thrones reference?
I think so. I'm not too sure.
Do you? I think it is. But do you watch it?
In all honesty, I haven't got past the first season.
Really?
I might need to pick it up. That trailer was looking kind of crazy.
Yeah. I've never watched it. Everyone's always telling me about it, and they're like, "Oh, you have to watch Game of Thrones." I'm like, I have no clue where I can even watch it. Is it on Netflix?
No, I think it's somewhere on the www.
www.
Yeah,
HBO?
Something like that.
Okay,
and it comes out April 14th.
April 14th?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what, like a new season is coming out?
A whole new season, I think.
How many seasons are there even in that show?
You're asking the wrong person.
That's all for our show today, but in case you missed today's topic, get out there.
Make a positive difference in someone's life today. Thanks for watching.